My name is Chindu Yangama. I am going home from school. I am a Mashona. I live in Central Africa in the Mashona region.
My name is Todd Rice. I just finished school and now I'm going home. I live in New York, the Bronx to be exact.
The school in my village does not have so much equipment, so my family sends me to the city for high school. This is my village, Kambarami. I was born here.
We've been here for 6 years. All of us. My family, I mean.
In all societies, the family is the basic unit, its essential strength. This is the story of two families. But one is American while the other is African. And perhaps that is what makes the difference. In America, we think of the family as a small unit. In New York lives the Rice family, father, mother, children. Todd has one brother and two sisters. This is the Rice family, complete, whole, and functional. The world outside may be friendly, but it is not family.
I'm having my citywide math test Monday.
The Rices have an average income for New York. They're a nuclear family, the product of an urban society.
I guess my citywide test.
You did? Hey, that's all right, huh? That's great.
Chintu's family lives in Central Africa, part of that great group of Zambesian people who inhabit this vast area. Chintu's family is rooted in the soil. It is an extended family encompassing many degrees of relationship. It is a prosperous family with good land, grain and cattle farmers. Two different concepts of the family, and to understand them, each should be seen at work upon their own ground.
My family is big. There is my father and mother and my father's two other wives. There are my 10 brothers and sisters. There are all my father's brothers and all their wives and children. And of course, there are all my great uncles and their wives. I am the first one in the family who goes far away to school. It is very important to the family that I do well. Everyone in our village is related to me. When I come home, I greet all of them. I visit the oldest member of the family first. It is our custom. My great uncle Kowiro is the head of the village. We have a saying, many gray hairs mean much wisdom. When I tell everyone that I'm doing well in school, they are very proud. I want to be a doctor, I tell them. That is good. Everybody agrees. It would be a great honor for the whole family. When I'm home, I help to do the work of our people. We are farmers. Even if I become a doctor, as I wish, I must know this work.
Every day, I work with my sons, teaching them all they should know. Chintu is the oldest, and one day perhaps he will be head of our family. Each year during the planting season, the oldest member of the family divides the land among the men. After the growing, the land goes back to the family. When Chintu grows up, he will have a share too. And that is why I must teach him.
I spend a lot of time with my father when we're up in the country, because we have a house up there that he built. And we always like to work around the grounds, or we just fool around with games or something. And that's when we see my father most. Or at night when he gets home from work. I spend a good part of 2 days with him a week, and all the rest of the time he's working and I'm working.
I spend most time with the children on weekends because we're out there working on the grounds and fixing up the house. Everybody has a job to do, and we get a chance to talk things over.
You know, it's getting to be pretty expensive now. You know, as far as, it's even more expensive.
Well, I might get a summer job, that'd be good. Or any job, after school.
Even a summer job wouldn't help out that much. And, this is what we're really confronted with, Todd.
What about if some of our friends or relatives help us pay, maybe, you know, for a little while, that we could always pay them back?
Well, Todd, you know, you can't just ask relatives to pay for your education. You know, there's always the possibility of
On weekdays, we all leave home at about the same time. The children go to different schools, and my wife and I go to work. My wife has taken a job to help pay for the children's education. Now that she's working, we're all trying to help her with the chores around the house, which I think is only fair.
When I'm finished with school, I want to be a concert pianist and a composer. Or, if that's impossible, a doctor. Hi, Joseph. That sounds great.
That's the octaves from Tchaikovsky. Yeah, this is exercise.
I study music, and I practice with my friend Joseph. We both want to be pianists, and we work hard, and we try to help each other. Like, we try and do different techniques.
Okay, real hard. Get a strong thing.
To take extra courses in musicology and other things like that. But the education for my music is going to be very expensive for my family.
I'm an estimator for an acoustical firm, and we do sound control. If an area is very noisy, we try to lower the sound. I don't think the children know exactly what I do, even though I tell them. If they want to know, they'll find out.
I like to work. I have occasional guilt feelings about my little ones. Sometimes I feel they're neglected. However, when I speak to them about it, they seem to enjoy being on their own without Mommy. Today, it's very common for the housewife to go back to work after her children have gone back to school. You know, unless you have a lot of money to just go shopping all day and go to theaters and things of that sort, there just aren't enough things to keep you interested at home.
In our family, men and women harvest the crops together. But otherwise, all the work is either man's work or women's work. Women cook all the meals and clean the house. They raise up their daughters so that someday they will be good wives. My father has only 3 wives, but some of his brothers have more. Each wife has her own house, but everyone shares the family work. Among our people, divorce almost never happens. The families will do everything to stop it. My sister Chitoya will be married soon. My parents have found her a good husband, and I think he will treat her well. If he doesn't, he'll hear from me.
I am going to be married in a few months. The marriage was arranged a year ago by my family and his. Then I will go to live in my husband's village and be part of his family. I will be sorry to leave home. I have heard that in big towns girls have boyfriends. That would never happen here. I hear that girls even marry without asking their father. I cannot understand that. My parents know me better than anyone else, and they know who is a good husband for me.
My great-uncle, Kowiro, is the oldest man in the family. I do not know how old he is, but he must be at least 70. He is still our village blacksmith. All of Kowiro's wives have died, but naturally he is never alone. All the women in the family take care of Kowiro and his house. One day, another the next, bringing him food. They all say Kowiro has a good appetite. Each woman asks Kowiro how he liked his meal. He tells each one she is the best cook. He tells all the women that. But his house needs a new roof, also some other repairing. The whole family works on it until it is ready. Everybody does something. We all do our best for Kowiro, because he is the eldest and the head. It would be a shameful thing if he were left to suffer in his old age. If I go to college, it will mean much money, family money. It will mean that someone else will have to do my work in the fields and with the cattle. It will mean that my uncles and great-uncles will contribute to my education. What should be decided? Kowiro must speak first. If he says yes, the others will agree, and my education is assured.
My grandfather comes once a week, and he plays with my little sister now, and he shows them things that he used to show me when I was their age.
That tree is over.
My grandfather and I really like to see each other, but I don't have so much time anymore.
And push this button to the left there.
I live on Long Island. All my children are married, and my wife is dead, so I live alone.
Very good. Now we all have taken a picture. We're going to go home and find out.
I love to visit my grandchildren. Of course, the older ones are pretty busy, but the little ones have time. I would like to see them more, but it's a long trip.
They give it a perspective.
Still, I wouldn't really like to live with them. I like to be independent. But sometimes it's a little lonely.
All right, play ball, come on.
When people become teenagers, they shouldn't have to stay around the house all the time. And they should have to find out for themselves how it is to get older and how to run their own lives. They've got to plan what they want to do.
In America, we assume that teenagers are capable of picking their own friends, even their future wives and husbands. Not so in Africa. When young people are together, their playing ground is in full view of their elders. The very remoteness of the village creates their friendships. And marriage in Africa is a family affair.
My sister will marry soon. This means a lot of parties. We invite the family of her suitor to be with us. Now the families are joined and we should know each other well. The dancers wish Chitoya and her suitor a long life and many children. It is a great sadness not to have many children.
I am sad when it is time for Chintu to go back to school in the city. I do not want him to forget our ways. Some from this village have gone to the city and have become chameleons. They have forgotten all their childhood training and no longer respect their families and elders. I will never live to see this happen in my family.
When I become a doctor, I would like to work in the hospital near my village and cure my people when they are sick. Some boys at school talk of living in a city, but I would not like it.
If someone asked me which is more important, the individual or the family, I don't really know. They're both very important, but I would have to answer the individual. Progress is made by the individual.
At school, some say the individual is more important than the family. How can that be? A single tree cannot make a forest. Whatever I am is because I'm part of the family. That's what I think.
Two families, African and an American. They seem so different in the way the individuals relate one to the other, in their attitudes towards marriage and courtship, individual freedom of choice, opportunity for education, in the way they care for their old people. And yet it is not so long ago that families in the Western world were solidly bound as Chintu's family in Africa. Indeed, in some parts of Europe, some still are. What is the future of the family? Will the African family grow more like ours? Will ours become more like theirs? Only the years and generations can shape that answer and the world which they create.